Hey guys, let's talk General Hospital for today, June 1st, 2026. So, we started this episode at Carly's house with Caroline and Caroline, with Carly and Valentine. Um, she's just coming back from taking Donna to gymnastics. And he was like, I told you how I felt about you, and you kind of ran away. And she was like, well, I had to go get my child. It's bad enough, that she's spending so much time with Sunny because of my house guest. And I was thinking that. I was like, Sunny has Donna all the time now. And is Sunny not suspicious? Like, because Donna ain't never at home because Valentine be roaming around like it ain't nothing. Like, and Sonny not sus? Well, I guess Sonny said he's a father. Okay, he's a father. He gonna take care of his kid, whether his baby mama doing what she's supposed to be doing or not. But anyway, so she was like, "Well, I kissed you," and he was like, "Yeah, but you didn't say anything." And they clarified that they're a thing, I guess. Which I thought that the kiss like signified that anyway, but I digress. So anyway, so they're there and they're talking, and then there's Nina and Jack. Nina goes to Turning Woods to go see him, and they're talking, and then the nurse comes in and he's like, I heard voices. Now, I know that Jack shouldn't be talking or whatever, but he ain't talking like well enough to project. So I know you didn't hear his voice. Like, you just being nosy. Cause ain't no way you heard Jack talking because he doesn't even have enough in him to be able to project. Even because, like, when he was talking to Nina throughout the episode, it gets to a point where I know that if he could have projected, he would have stopped Nina in her tracks because she was talking. But I'm pretty sure if he could, he would have said something loudly to get her to shut up. But yeah, so Nina is in there talking to Jack, and she is talking to Jack because she's telling him, that Sidwell is basically wanting to keep him drugged, and that Sidwell don't know about her involvement, and that Willow is protecting her, keeping her involvement out of it, and so they need to keep it that way or whatnot. And he's like, well, you need to talk to Carly. And she's like, no, Carly don't care about you, this that and the other. And then she also tells him, and he says again, you need to talk to Carly because she can get us in contact with Valentine. And she was like, Carly can't get you in contact with Valentine. She don't got nothing to do with him. She was like, he was like, yeah, she been harboring him, and they sleeping together. And she's like, no, she's not even his type, girl. Types change. A type don't mean nothing. A type don't mean nothing because now your ex husband is still your ex husband after you were long divorced. Unlike how you got Sunny, your ex husband is now, yeah, with Caroline. How you like them apples, Miss, what's Nina's name? Nina, Miss Nina Reeves. How you like that? But anyway, so she is like really flabbergasted to find this information. Meanwhile, Dante and Liz are at the PCPD and they're talking, and he's, venting about his frustration with Lulu and her keeping, all of this a secret until like the last minute. and now he kind of feels like she is responsible for pulling for having Rocco run away, because he felt like his family may be better off without him. So now he's going off with Britt, and their son is in danger and they don't know where he is or how to help him. And that's a lot to take in. Meanwhile, BLQ, Rick, and Tracy are having a meeting because they're trying to figure out a way to get Sidwell out of deception. And he's trying to warn them that this can be dangerous. And I just don't get the sense that Tracy or Brooklyn really get how dangerous this can be. But what ifs? Meanwhile, um, back at Carly and Carly's house, I was gonna say Carly and Valentine's house. Back at Carly and Valentine's house, Lulu comes over and she just wants to basically vent to Caroline about, what is going on with Rocco and everything. And she's also upset, about how for many years, Valentine had Charlotte on the run, and she can't, he doesn't understand the trauma that he put his child through. And so when she leaves, she asks Valentine, if he's okay. Did he hear everything? And he said he did. And he was like, oh, she's trying to say I'm a bad father. And Carly is playing, devil's advocate, because she's like, okay, that's not what she's saying, but I can see where she's coming from as well. And I don't think he's like, oh, you think I sound like you agree with her? And she's like, no, I don't think you're a bad father, but I can see where Lulu is coming from. And then they get flirty again or whatever. And then here comes Nina, because Nina is coming over there like Jack directed her to, and was like, I need to speak to Valentine. And Valentine, of course, is around the corner listening. And Carly is standing there like, how you know to come to my door? Meanwhile, Joss is down there, so she now knows that she is on Spoon Island. So all she has to do is get free, and then she can, do what she got to do. So we see in the preview for this week, she does get that door open because Anna hid some weapons. She found the weapons. She hid the weapons. So she uses that to get the door open. Let's see if she will be successful in getting free, because she knows where she is now. Like, that's a huge advantage to her, knowing that she's on Spoon Island. And then Pascal threatening her and saying that she's a bargaining chip or whatever the case may be. But Agent Jax, although she's very green, she's still like this whole espionage thing. It's fun to her, so she probably. I have a good feeling about Joss being able to get free. Meanwhile, Sonny and Lucas and Laura meet, and they're asking for information about Pascal, and he tells them a lot of information, but he leaves out the Rocco piece, which is crazy to me because that's Rocco's grandfather. Tell his grandfather this piece of it, because I guarantee you all of this would be over by the end of the week if y'all just told Sonny everything. But he has a plan now, and he has gone to talk to Fitzpatrick, and he's telling Fitzpatrick that he knows who killed Marco Rios and that they should look at Pascal. But yeah, that's GH for today. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hey guys, let's talk General Hospital for today, June 2nd, 2026. So we start this episode at the Q mansion. Chase is, well, no, excuse me, Jacinda. So Michael and Jacinda are plotting, right? So Jacinda is down at the boathouse and she just dropped her sunglasses in the water. And Mr. Hero, aka Chase, comes up and he's like, let me go get them for you or whatever. And they're talking and she was like, oh, you're being so kind, especially when, I know you basically don't want to talk to me because of the beef that you got with Michael. And he was like, Michael, if Michael seems too good to be true, he is. Chase irritates me, y'all, because he and Curtis and their sanctimonious selves, but always doing the wrong stuff, is very irritating to me because y'all aren't good people. Y'all aren't good men, no matter how you try and act like you are. But he says that to her, and she's like, I'm leaving. But she just goes around the corner to watch, and she texts Michael. Oh, well, no, he goes around the corner to watch, and Chase goes and he jumps in the water to go find the sunglasses. Meanwhile, back at the house, Michael is talking to Willow, and Michael said, I'm gonna wake up this morning and I'm gonna choose violence because Michael is taking all kinds of shots at Willow. He was like, is odd not seeing you in your congressman suits. And she was like, oh yeah, they wanted to do a photo shoot and they wanted some shots of me in mom mode, so I had to change into my mom clothes. And he was like, I remember a time when you didn't have to change into mom mode, you just were. And I'm like, Michael, was that necessary? So then he was like, yeah, I need to talk to you about the 4th of July, the annual Quartermain cookout. You might be familiar. I think that's where you first kissed Drew. Michael, what are we doing here? Why are we taking all kinds of shots? It's hilarious to me. So she's like, Michael. And then he asked her, can he have the kids that weekend? Because if you don't know, 4th of July falls on a Saturday. So we got Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I like when it falls on the weekend and not in the middle of the week, because then you got to work around it. No, give me the 3-day weekend. But anyway, that was, you can tell I'm excited, right? So, um, he was like, can I have them that weekend and you can have them the 2 subsequent weekends? And she's agreeable. And she was like, well, just get it in writing. So he emails Rick and Alexis or whatever. And here comes his part in the ploy. So he was like, oh, Wiley left his T-ball mitt. I can bring it to you later. And she was like, oh, no, I can get it while I'm here. He was like, no, because it's outside in the boathouse. She's like, no, I can get it. No, it's no problem. And then so she goes out there. When she walks out the door, Michael texts Jacinda and said it worked. She on her way. So Jacinda hides and Chase gets out the water, and then Willow is in the boathouse looking for the glove, which she finds. And he out the water and they out there, just out there talking. And then he invites her for a swim. She flashes back to Brooklyn's threat and says, sure. I had mixed emotions about how Michael was going about this, and his cousin getting hurt or whatever. But at the end of the day, Chase is still making the choices. So let the games roll. I'm sorry, Michael innocent, because he just sat in the atmosphere and they just doing what they doing. I can't say Michael's wrong. But anyway, let me get to the rest of the show because I spent way too much time on them. But anyway, Lucy, Tracy, BLQ, they're bothering Pascal because they want to speak with Sidwell. Sidwell comes out. They're telling him that they're going to go for a SEC audit, a whistleblowers audit, if he don't walk away. And so Pascal comes because he's waiting for word from Cullum about Britt and interrupts. So he tells Pascal to go and waylay them while he talks to Pascal. However, before he could talk to Cullum, who was suggesting they replace Britt, somebody knocks at the door and it's Detective Fitzpatrick. Because if we remember yesterday, Lucas went to the PCPD and said that he suspects that Pascal has something to do with Marco's murder. And so he was trying to talk to Dante, and then Fitzpatrick was like not trying to let that happen, but he was like, he is practically my family. And so Dante went out there, and then Dante was like, yeah, go out there and check it out. So yeah. Meanwhile, Liz and Dante are talking yesterday, and we saw Lulu eavesdropping. And so Lulu finally comes in the room, and then Liz tells her about her involvement in all of this. And then Lulu has the nerve, the audacity, and the unmitigated gall to say, well, while you were accusing me and Nathan of keeping secrets behind your back, it looks like you and Liz were doing the same thing. Okay, Liz is not a part of this. She doesn't really know what's going on, but when she did go, figure out what was going on, she told Dante, and then they put the pieces together. And then when he put the pieces together, he went directly to you to tell you what he discovered. And it didn't matter where it came from, Lulu. That doesn't change the fact that you knew that, his son shot someone and you didn't tell him. Don't try and like redirect blame. But then she course corrected and said, thank you or whatever to Liz. Because Dante did need to know, and she gonna make sure that she, keeps him abreast, I guess, from now on, I guess. Meanwhile, Cullum went over there to see Jack before he went to Sidwell's, and he's over there trying to get the code to Jack's black box, or he gonna kill him. But he was like, "I'm gonna come back when there are not too many prying eyes." Meanwhile, Nina went over there to see Carly, asking to see Valentine, and she goes in there, and she got a nerve to be mad, y'all. Why is she mad that Carly and Valentine are sleeping together when she slept with Jax, she slept with Sonny, and she slept with Drew? Girl, this ain't nothing for you. What do you, I know you ain't mad. Like, Nina gives obsessed with Carly. Do you want to sleep with Carly? I'm just asking. Inquiring minds want to know. But anyway, Carly and Valentine decide that they like being partners or whatever. And so when, Nina tells them that Jack wants to see him, Carly's like, no, it's too dangerous. I guess they decide to go together. So they go to see Jack, and um Carly goes in first, and then Valentine sneaks in disguise because we know he's a fugitive. Child, it's a lot going on. But Jack's only way out is probably gonna be Valentine and Carly. So they gonna have to work together, y'all. But yeah, General Hospital was funny to me today. But that was General Hospital, and I'll be back tomorrow to see what more shenanigans they can get into in Port Charles. Because they shenanigans and agains is what they. Hey guys, let's talk General Hospital for today, June 3rd, 2026. So we started this episode with Valentine, Carly, and Jack in Jack's room at Turning Woods. And he's saying that he needs Valentine's help. And Valentine said, but first, well, no, Carly said, but first, you need to tell me where my daughter is. And he's like, I didn't put her anywhere, I didn't send her anywhere. And then they start to say, well, then maybe she went away so that Cullum wouldn't find her out. And Carly was like, absolutely not. Even when she went to Easter Island for a school trip, she let me know. She kept an open line of communication, let me know where she was. She wouldn't just leave without a trace. And Brennan admits that that may be true, that is plausible. And then he says, well, he tells that Valentine, he needs to reach out to Z and give him a message, and then he'll fix all of this. But as we know, Valentine is a escaped WSB prisoner. So he can't exactly do that without risking himself. And it's not really something that Carly can do because she is not WSB. And so he gonna look at her like, girl, what? So it's not something that she can do. So they're trying to think about, well, Valentine is like, yeah, I'm out. But Carly stays behind so that it won't look suspicious. And she stays behind and she tells Jack, you know, I'm not going to ever forgive you for what you did because my daughter is in this, whatever this is, because of you. And it's true. She is. And it's solely because of him. And yeah, he doesn't deserve forgiveness. Meanwhile, we have Willow and Chase. Willow and Chase are funny because the funny thing about it is Chase tries to play like he's stupid. But you're not stupid. You're no more stupid than Curtis was when Curtis was in this exact same position. This is an emotional affair, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever wanted to see one, this is what you're seeing right now. An emotional affair is going on between Willow and Chase, just like there was an emotional affair going on between Curtis and Portia. I mean, excuse me, not Curtis and Portia, Curtis and Jordan. And it was just an excuse because when he found his next reason to go over and be in Jordan's face after Portia had had enough, when she grabbed his hand that day in the hospital, after Stella got arrested, then he used his way, but he tried to gaslight Portia. Even he did it last week when he was talking to her, and he tried to say, "You cheated on me with Isaiah." Curtis. She did not cheat on you with Isaiah. She did not. You had carried on for months an emotional affair with Jordan, and she told you point blank and the period, if you walk out that door, I know our marriage is over. And you walked out the door because you was playing, but then she played you back when she said, oh, I can show you better than I can tell you. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Hey, but anyway, it's no fun when the rabbit has the gun. But anyway, so that's the same thing that's going on with Chase and Willow. Willow is, she knows what she's doing because whole time she's thinking about the conversation she had with Brooklyn, and she knows that Brooklyn is not comfortable with their relationship, but she is going as far as doing the same thing that Drew did and offering offering him a job. Now if his wife say don't breathe on my husband, what makes you think she wants him working directly with you as his chief of staff? You playing games, Willow. You ain't low. And then Chase trying to act like he dumb. But you ain't dumb. You see what's going on too. And y'all sitting there reminiscing about the past. Nothing good comes from that. From a man sitting up there reminiscing with his ex. But anyway, Tracy sees them at the end, and she was like, "You done cheated on my granddaughter for the last time," and she's not wrong because, like I said, it's an emotional affair. An affair is an affair. It is an affair, and it's all wrong. It's because you haven't slept with her yet. Don't don't make it no better. Because, like I said, yet, because you working your way up to doing that. Because why was she touching your bicep and feeling on your bicep, Chase? Where is that appropriate? Anyway, so Christina meets with Michael to tell Michael that she got into medical school, and she's, trying to like see, what he thinks about it or whatever. And she was like, "What if I, give up on it?" And he was like, "Is anything that I'm going to say going to make you not go through with this?" And she's like, basically, no. So excuse me. Christina is going to medical school in California, y'all. So we just might as well get on board. So that's how they're going to write Kate out of the show. And we don't know when or how or what will happen with the character of Christina in the future, but that's how she's getting written out. She's going to med school out of the clear blue sky because GH writers loves to do that. Meanwhile, Sunny and Laura are at the coffee warehouse and they're waiting for Pascal and Lucas and whatever. And so Luke and Laura's like, "Look, Sonny, I can't be a part of no violence and stuff. You're gonna be threatening and torturing. I can't be a part of that. I can't look the other way." Sonny said, "You ain't got to look the other way because he gonna be desperate." Pascal is desperate, bro. So anyway, Lucas comes over and he tells them about how it went down at the PCPD and how he did get Dante to go question Pascal, but how Dante isn't that convinced or whatever. But meanwhile, at Windermere, Joe starts asking questions, but Joss is down in the tunnels or whatever doing stuff, trying to get free, and she causes a power outage. So when she calls the power outage, that gives Pascal the opening to run, and run he did. Before the generator kicked in, Jens turned around to say something to Pascal, and before he could even get the words out of his mouth, Pascal was gone. Then we see at the end, he trying to start the car. He can't get the car to start. Sonny talking about saying, "You need a ride?" Sonny funny. But and then Joss, she gets free and she's makes it to the front door, but then when she opens the door, Sidwell is there and he's pointing the gun at her. So it's getting good and juicy in Port Charles. I am excited. But yeah, that was General Hospital for today. What do you think about the conversation between Lucy and um Brooklyn? Because everyone sees the inappropriateness in this relationship with Chase and Willow, but Brooklyn keeps trying to believe in Chase, but he's just as guilty. I'll see you. Hey guys, let's talk General Hospital for today, June 4th, 2026. So we start this episode at Alexis's office, and she is meeting with Ethan finally. And as suspected, because I said this in since I said this back when he went to the Quartermains, and Chase and Brooklyn were telling him how they, I don't want to say acquired Phoebe, but how they acquired Phoebe. um, I didn't want to say the baby like it was an item, but my words escape me right now. So back then, if you go back and search through the videos, I said it back then that Ethan was Phoebe's father. So that was confirmed today. He said that he and Delilah were friends. They slept together one time. We all know, we're all adults. All it takes is once. And she got pregnant. She called him 6 months later and told him they were supposed to meet in Port Charles to talk about it. Neither of them were in a position to be parents. And yeah, he has no interest in being Phoebe's father. Um, and I get that to a certain extent. I get it. I understand. Everybody is not meant to be parents, and everyone doesn't want to be parents. I get it, but I still just feel like it's odd. I don't know how do you think Luke would feel to know that he has a grandchild out there and Ethan doesn't want to have anything to do with his grandchild? I don't know. I mean, maybe Luke wouldn't care because he was a bit questionable himself. But it's just, that's a lot. Like, to be staring at your baby and to not acknowledge that they're your baby, and to know that Brooklyn and Chase want to adopt her and they're looking for her family so that they can safely adopt her, and then you not say anything so that you can make it easier for them. It's a whole lot there. It's a whole lot there to unpack. But anyway, so Alexis is like, um he's telling Alexis that he doesn't want anyone to know that he is the father, and that he'll sign over his rights, but he doesn't want anyone to know that he's the dad. However, Alexis ain't the only one who knows, because Ava was there. Ava is the one that acquired the information. And so we see tomorrow they gotta have a chat because he trying to do this on the hush hush. But Brooklyn is gonna get her baby. Let's go there. Brooklyn's gonna get her baby, but is Brooklyn gonna be a single parent? Because baby, Brooklyn turning a blind eye. You better get close to Portia Renee. Oh. That's the inside name for Portia. You got to get close with Portia because, baby, you got to be ready to walk. When you see these N words, being trifling, and then they start defending the. I'm trying not to curse, y'all, because it's crazy. When these men are entertaining these women and then they trying to act like, oh, we're just friends, and then they start defending them to you. This is the same thing, and I hate to bring up characters who aren't on screen today, but this is the same exact thing Baldy did to Portia. She's telling you that Jordan has a thing for you. I see it. What did he do? No, we're just friends and you're insecure. They try to make it seem like Portia was so insecure. Portia Renee is not insecure about Nab chick. Okay, let me tell you that. And that's why when she was like, okay, so he's gonna keep playing with me. When she saw that he was gonna keep playing with me, that's when they were in her office that wet day, and she was like, okay, look. And he walked out the door because he didn't even want to address it. And she was like, all right, my hands are washed. And she was ready to walk. And she walked and she didn't look back. You got to be willing to do that. Chase ain't worth fighting for, sis. I'm trying to tell you, BLQ. Chase ain't worth fighting for. But I digress, child. So meanwhile, she's talking to Michael. And she's like, Willow is trying to interfere in my marriage. But Willow only comes through the door that Chase opens. She's like, oh, and he was like, oh, yeah, what you gonna do? Whatever. Meanwhile, him and Tracy are at the boathouse having it out. And he's like, you don't know what you're talking about. Blah, blah, blah. You didn't see nothing. Nah, nah, nah. So he think he being slick. And he think he's so cocky and so... And this is why I don't like him. So he calls Brooklyn down there and makes Tracy tell her. And Tracy tells her, and she's like, Brooklyn, if he hasn't yet, he is going to sleep with her, and you should get out now. And I 110% agree with Tracy. But she was like, let me speak to my husband alone. And now she trying placating him, but she still know in her gut what's up, because we see her talking to Lucy tomorrow. This is some bull crap. Cause girl, cut your losses. I know it's gonna hurt. You don't think Portia was hurt when she had to mess with Baldy? She said when he had got shot and he was in the hospital, she was talking to Liz. She said, I loved him most of my adult life. You don't think it hurt when she had to walk away? But she did it, yo. Found out she was pregnant and still didn't go back. You got to stand on business. You got to run a strict program. Somebody need to teach her that, because obviously Brooklyn ain't learned that. Anyway, meanwhile, Sunny is at the coffee warehouse with Laura, Pascal, and Lucas. And they're like, look, you need to get us those photos, and then I'll give you $50,000 and you can get on my private jet and go somewhere and start over. Then he was like, well, if I go back to the house, he gonna kill me. So Lucas is like, well, I'll give me the code to the safe and I'll do it. And then he was like, is that suitable? Sonny had me dying laughing, because Sonny said, now you only getting 40,000 because Luke is doing all the work. That cracked me up. I said, Sonny, no, he crazy. But so Lucas goes back to the house. Meanwhile, Joss is about to get shot by Sidwell, but you know, Joss is a good talker, so she talking like and prolonging him shooting her. Meanwhile, Nathan shows up. So when Nathan shows up, he begs for her life, and while he's begging for her life, she dropped her ring. Now I don't expect Lucas to find it, but Jack did tell Carly and Valentine yesterday to start at Windermere. Carly gonna find that ring. She gonna know it belonged to her daughter, and there might not be no more Spoon Island, because once it's confirmed that they got her child, once she see that ring, she turned that island up. I'm just saying. But yeah, that was General Hospital for today. We'll see y'all. I'll see you tomorrow so that we can wrap this thing on up. Hey guys, let's talk General Hospital for today, June 5th, 2026. So we started this episode back at Alexis's office. I think that's where we started yesterday. But we started that today's episode back at Alexis's office, and she's meeting with Brooklyn and Chase. So she's telling them that she found Phoebe's father, and they're getting up in arms because, of course, they naturally think that he's the father, so he's going to want his child. But Alexis is like, calm down. Let me explain to you, what is going on. And, she explains that he's open to the idea of having them adopt Phoebe, but he does have one stipulation, and that one stipulation is that it is a closed adoption and that Brooklyn and Chase or Phoebe, none of them ever know who he is. And so they're excited, and Chase gets a phone call, and it's a phone call from Willow because she got the someone I wasn't paying attention. She got someone to sign off on the social services paperwork. So she's like, "Oh, I'll come bring it to you." Like any excuse to see Chase. Like, girl, you ain't even low at this point. Like everybody sees you. You're not invisible. But anyway, so she anything she can to see Chase, and automatically Brooklyn gets her hackles up, but Chase doesn't even see it. He is annoying. And Brooklyn is actually annoying me too because I'm not about to play these games. Because later on in the episode, we see her text Lucy that she wants to meet up with her, and they go meet at the Metro Court. And they're basically talking. She's talking about someone is making a play for her husband and she needs help or whatever. I'm not playing these games. I don't want to keep you that bad that I'm going to play these games with you. Either you want her in your life or you want me in your life. That's just how it's going to be. You can't be her friend and be married to me. Is at the end of the day, tell me what you want to do. And it should never be you fighting for another woman to be in your life because I am your life. And if I'm not, let me know so I can go on about my business. I'm not playing these games that Brooklyn is playing. It's crazy to me. But anyway, meanwhile, Ava's meeting with Ethan and she's trying to figure out like what his con is because she doesn't trust him. And she's like, "You are the son of Holly and Luke. I know you're up to something." And he's like, "No, I'm really not up to nothing. I really want Phoebe to be able to grow up in the best life that she can, and she can do that with Brooklyn and Chase." And so she's like, "Okay, well, I'll be quiet, but it's going to cost you." What you think Ava is going to ask for? Because she made it a point of stating like her money gets her everywhere. Like she got money. Remember when you was broke, girl. We remember when you were broke. And I think it was you. Yeah, it was you and Rick. Y'all was so broke. Y'all had to call Lucas to come get y'all out of trouble because y'all didn't even have the money to pay for your bill at the PC grill. I remember. The North remembers, but now you want to talk ish again because you stole your money back. But anyway, so Willow is at the house with Drew and Nina, and her and Nina are working Drew out. And Nina's like, "We're gonna have to put some sunglasses on him." She said that yesterday. Liesel comes to the house and Liesel said, y'all gotta put sunglasses on him or something because he blinking SOS is Morse code. Everybody know that that is like three blinks fast for S, three blinks slow for O. So he doing SOS. She said everybody knows that. That's Morse code for help. And they're trying to play Lisa like she's stupid. Lisa know that they up to something, but also Lisa don't have time for that right now because she's trying to figure out where Britt is, and is Britt okay? Because she's already lost her once, even though she wasn't that pleased with Britt when she came back. That's still her daughter. She want to make sure that she's okay, so she's there to talk to them. But then she's talking to Nina because Nina like to play like Willow is so innocent, and I don't understand why Nina plays like she thinks Willow is so innocent when she knows for a fact that Willow is not innocent. If you had any doubt about whether or not she was playing with Daisy when Daisy was born, since you know everything now about her shooting Drew and now drugging Drew and the way she like kind of blackmailed you and put you in a corner, if anything, she's not innocent. It's just the act. She's not innocent. Why you acting like she not gonna really make a play for Chase? That's exactly what she's trying to do. But I digress, man. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Meanwhile, Cullum is at Sidwell's house and they're talking because Cullum trying to figure out where Britt is. And he's like, I got more important things to worry about. He's like, what is more important than the project? He was like, who killed my son? Oh, you looking at him, Sidwell. You looking at the man that killed your son. So anyway, so he's like, well, that's not important. Yes, it's unfortunate. He was like, oh, my son being murdered is unfortunate. And then he said, well, I have someone that can take over Britt's work. And he was like, who? And then we see at the end of the episode that he is kidnapping Cullum, that is, kidnapping Liesel to make her do Faison's work since they don't have Brit. It's kind of crazy. Meanwhile, Lucas has successfully gone into the safe, retrieved the photos, and brought them back to Sunny and Laura. So, Sunny and Laura are excited. Laura's like, we free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. And um he's Lucas like, yeah, no, you're not, because he's gonna come after you and your family harder now that he knows that you did this. This isn't You're not free. And then they were like, she's like, well, you can't kill him, Sonny. We gonna go through the courts and the system and we're gonna bring Sidwell down. Laura, you know better than that, right? So then they devise a plan that they have to catch him doing something. So Lucas says, I can do it, and the key is in his safe. So he goes back to get into the safe again. Sidwell catches him in the room, but I don't think that he catches him like in enough to be suspicious of him or anything. He's just like, I didn't know you were home, and he's just standing there looking silly. But yeah, um, that was General Hospital for today. The story is finally moving along. How long do y'all think that it will take for Sidwell to realize that he got and that they took the evidence that he has on them? People's safe don't be as secure as they try to be, because they did the same thing to Drew, and Drew don't even know that it was Trina that and Kai that got the evidence out the safe for Portia. But I'll see y'all next week. Have a great and safe weekend.